So this is the iPhone 17 base model, and we're going to do a quick speed test comparison to the iPhone 16 to see how much faster it actually feels or have become. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and let's go ahead and just begin with a boot up test in 3, 2, go, and see which one can get there first. Now, the Apple iPhone 17 does have the Apple A19 chipset. That's not the Pro chip, it's just the regular A19, but that is a pretty good chip. It is 3 nanometer, and we do have the Apple A18 on the right. Both of them do have 8 gigabytes of RAM, but the standout feature for the iPhone 17 is finally ProMotion. For some reason, the iPhone 16 turns on faster, but that doesn't mean it's going to be the overall faster phone. However, the 16 Pro Max versus my 17 Pro Max also turned on faster, so I'm not overly shocked by that. Anyway, 6.3 inch, 6.1 inch, let's get on to the next thing. All right, guys, when it comes to biometrics and unlocking the phones, they both actually are going to unlock at about the same time. No major issues. Okay, guys, and let's go ahead and do the face unlock here with Face ID, and you can see as we go in, there's no substantial difference besides the animation does look a little bit nicer on the iPhone 17. That's mostly going to be down to, well, the ProMotion, the main thing that you're probably wanting this upgrade for. You can even see it when unlocking. It's a little bit tough to make out, but let's go ahead and do it a little bit slower here. Go ahead and do it a little bit slower here, and you can see it's just very smooth. And we'll go ahead and do it here for the iPhone 16 here. So 3, 2, go. And you can just see it just looks a little bit choppier with that 60 hertz, but they're both just fine. It's just a bit better for the ProMotion. It's one of the main reasons why you get this phone. So let's go ahead and kind of swipe through the general user interface, and you can see the phone finally kind of just feels like an Apple iPhone Pro. So that's a really good thing for those of you who have been wanting this feature for several years and you've been holding off upgrading for this long. The iPhone 17 finally feels like a worthy option, even for some people who just want to skip out the Pro. Someone called this, this is for the people who want a budget iPhone. I disagree, because when you start getting the higher storage, this can go over 1,000 as well. This is for the people who don't want to pay the highest price for the iPhone, but also want higher end specs. It's not necessarily a budget phone though. It's still a premium device. So over here, you'll see right here the iPhone 16. Now when we scroll through here, it's pretty evident how much slower it looks in terms of the refresh, not the speed of the software. The phone itself is not slow at all. It's a pretty fast phone. It's just the software just runs along slower with that refresh rate. And honestly, there's no going back. I'm glad Apple has finally did this, because 60 hertz just feels really, really dated in 2025. All right, guys, so here are at the app test, and everything is closed out for both. Let's begin with calendar. You can see about the same. We'll go on the clock. A little bit faster there for the 17. And you'll see no major issues when going through submenus. Calculator, a little faster there for the 17. We'll go on to the App Store. That also loaded first on the 17, faster on the left. And we'll go over here to apps. And you can see it's not a substantial boost, but definitely a little bit quicker on the 17. Plus you get the bigger screen and the better ProMotion. And you can see that was faster on the 17. Gemini, kind of the same. We'll go in the Grok here. And we'll skip this. Hold on, let's do Grok again, because it was like not fair. It was loading up a bunch of stuff on the right. We'll go to Grok. Yeah, still faster for the 7. We'll go in the Copilot here on both. And that was faster for the iPhone 17. We'll go into YouTube. And YouTube loads quicker there on the left. Let's go ahead and click down here. And we'll go over here to movies and TV. And we'll go to free with ads. Kind of scroll down here, and it's really evident which one is going to be the better option for scrolling. I don't know if the video picks it up, but it just looks jittery compared to the iPhone 17. All right, so let's go into Instagram here on both, and you could see not too much difference there. Scrolling through, we'll take a look at my latest post. It's pumpkin season. Let's go into X here, and X loads first there on the left. but also you're doing a lot of scrolling. Of course, it's going to look much smoother on the left. So the iPhone 17 definitely going to give you that nice upgrade in scrolling and social media. We'll go over here to Groupon, a little faster on the left. So even though it hasn't been by much, it does look like we're getting just a slightly snappier experience on the left. We'll go into Dead Trigger 2, but it's very, very small in terms of just regular application performance. It's just mostly down to promotion. I'm gonna keep talking about that probably for the rest of this video because that's the main thing I'm excited about. You'll see over here Brawl Stars on the left version, and let's go ahead and scroll up out of here. All right, so let's get into RTS here, and you'll see Race the Sun over here does launch about the same time on both of them. No substantial issues there. All right, guys, so let's go into Free Fire on both devices and see what happens here. And so you can see Free Fire is loading, looks like it's first on the iPhone 17 right now. And yeah, so I got an error because of a conflict. They're kind of like on the same account, but the iPhone 17 won to the home screen, so it was the faster load. Let's go into Call of Duty and see what we get here for Call of Duty. And this one also seeming to load first here on the iPhone 17. And here comes the 16. We probably gonna get that same account issue thing with these. This is downloading some resources. But yeah, the GPU in general, yeah, this one's already behind. The GPU in general is gonna be quicker. All right, so let's go ahead and open up PUBG here on both of them and see what happens here for the PUBG game. And they're probably might have an account conflict on this one as well. Looks like the 17 had won it to get there first. That is not allowing me over here. It might actually kick this one out if I press accept here. Let's see what happens for this one. Yep. So we're going to give this to the iPhone 17 for getting there first. We'll go into Geekbench 6 faster on the 16, mostly because Geekbench hasn't been updated for speed yet, probably on the newer 17s. And you can see as we come out of here, iMovie launched first. I didn't even see that one. It was pretty close. That one looked like the 16, but overall it looks like they're pretty neck and neck in just terms of everyday performance. They are both 8 gigabytes of RAM. The iPhone 17 just feels a hair quicker, but mostly it feels smoother. That is a big deal because you're actually going to notice more smoothness with this 120 hertz, and it's probably quicker in the gaming as well. So this is definitely worthy upgrade over the 16 and 15, mostly because that promotion changes the game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the RAM management now. All right, guys, so we're going to go back through these applications, and you can see that the iPhone 17 doing pretty well here. 8 gigabytes of RAM was never really a substantial problem to me on some of the other iPhones. We did get a reload there for Race the Sun. Subway Surfers, wow. Actually, now I'm becoming a little bit shocked here. It looks like we reloaded Dead Trigger 2 as well. So it did shut down a couple of those games, keeping all these base applications open. However, again, this is the base model 17, so I'm kind of like shocked they closed on a few, but not overly shocked because this isn't the top of the line Pro Max. But let's go ahead and take a look at the iPhone 16. We'll see what happens here. Oh man, you can really see it on the 60 hertz on these reloads. It looks really kind of like choppy looking by comparison to the 120 hertz. I don't know. It just, the way the animation looks, just looks like jittery when it's coming out. You can just see the refresh rate difference. I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but am I seeing something? Looks like App Store reloaded. Is the iPhone 16 not reloading? Did it not reload these games? So I don't know why, but for some reason the 17 had shut down a few of these games. However, both of them pretty similar overall in the RAM management. I think the 16 might have held more. That was a little bit strange. And so the final Geekbench results are in, and you can see that we only have a little bit of a boost on the single core. That could explain why the phones looked almost the same in the speed test. The multi-core does explain why too. The games were launching quicker. Also, I told you the gaming would be a little bit better, and it would be proven here by this benchmark 8962 versus 8206. So respectable scores on the 16. They're not really even needed to be upgraded, anything like that. Again, you're just coming for the bigger screen, the ProMotion, the better camera, center stage on the front. Let's go ahead and run a quick 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme, and we'll see what they do when it comes to the graphics as well. I do think the 17 should pull ahead a little bit more on this test though. I'll be back when they're done. And so the final benchmarks are in for the iPhone 17, and what I'm noticing is a 4418 and a 26.5 FPS versus 18 FPS. That's 7 FPS higher and about 1400 points. This is a big leap in terms of graphical performance. This is actually almost on par with an iPhone 16 Pro. So if you didn't get the 16 Pro and you want the lighter weight, you want the more base iPhone for a cheaper price, you're basically getting a 16 Pro at a cheaper price without the extra zoom. That's close to what the iPhone 17 is, and it's being proven here by these benchmark scores. So quite nice for that base model 17, making it an extraordinary value this year for sure. So we have the same 1 minute video lined up for both phones. Let's go ahead and do a quick export to see how much different they are. And this shouldn't take too long. This is a smaller clip, but whichever one finishes the export first would give you like a little bit of an indication. However, iMovie probably hasn't been fully optimized for the iPhone 17, so I wouldn't be shocked if the 16 wins here. But yeah, those benchmarks were pretty a telling story, especially on 3D Mark. They told us a pretty clear story of what you're getting with the 17. So 17 users, you're getting a great deal this year. And it looks like we're going to finish this export first on the left. So the 17 going to export this quicker and it's done. So you're going to really start to see a big boost when you start extending those videos. This is just a 1 minute video. Imagine you go 10 minutes. Rendering should be noticeably quicker there for the iPhone 17. So let's wrap it up with one more test and we'll get up out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of the iPhone 17 Pro right there in silver. So let's go ahead and just hit the cameras, and oh, we had a pop-up here. So I guess I wasn't ready yet. So let's go ahead and do it again. 3, 2, and go. And looks not too much different. We'll go ahead and do it again. 3, 2, go. And when you zoom in, both of them kind of zoom at about the same. However, you do get that center stage on the front camera. Shutter speed's not going to be too different. They also do have the same zoom. So the cameras here are not as big of an upgrade versus going to something like a Pro. But the iPhone 17 definitely has a much better front-facing camera. Let's go ahead and check the heat here to see how it does. A lot of people are wondering if this has thermal management systems like the Pro, and it does not. Just so you know, it does. Of course, all iPhones have some ways to make them not get too hot, but in terms of a dedicated vapor chamber, it's not in there. So 104, and then the iPhone 16, 103, 105. So the 16 had a hotter point at 105. So the 16 gets slightly warmer to the touch, but nothing substantial. They're pretty similar in how they handle heat. Overall, they are basically the same design. So that's going to wrap it up here for me. Base 17 versus 16. The 17 is going to take the W, winning in both Geekbench, winning in 3D Mark by a substantial margin in the graphics performance. Having the ProMotion display just takes this phone to another level, and it's just a great value. So yeah, if you have a 16 and you can get a good price for this, selling it, I think it would be worth it upgrading just for those few reasons alone. But it's probably a better upgrade when you're coming from the 15, the 14, 13, 12, some of those older phones. So stay tuned. We will get to those as well. But if you found this video helpful, entertaining, informing, click the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.